Hello, welcome back to the Coffeevaners. I'm Alan.
I'm Annie.
And thank you very much for all you new subscribers that have just joined the channel. So we've had a bit of a think about social media this week. There's been loads of posts from new people who are looking at buying caravans, and they're asking all sorts of silly questions. Well, they aren't really silly, are they?
No.
They think they're silly. But they're actually questions that we've all asked ourselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through 5 things that we think you need to consider. And what we'd like to do is, we know that lots of you have got bags and bags of years of experience. So please drop your thoughts in the comments below. And to help the YouTube algorithm along the way, to get this out to loads of new caravanners, please click the like, because that will certainly help the video get out to more people. Right, let's go and have a look. Right, 5 things that we think people need to consider if we were starting out in 2022. And the very first thing is the tow car. You know, if you're not looking at buying a new car to start caravanning with, then the tow car is the limiting factor, unless you've got a tank or a Range Rover or something of that ilk. The car is certainly the limitation before you even start looking, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing to check. And also the cost, if it's not got a tow bar fitted, of actually getting a tow bar fitted to that car, because it can be rather expensive, can't it?
Yes, it can be.
I think we paid upwards of £600 for the tow bar and the electrics to be fitted to our car.
Yeah.
So it's a big consideration, isn't it?
Yes, it's a lot of money.
Right, number 2. So you've headed off to the dealer, or you're looking to buy private, and you turn up. And for me, the very first thing I would ask if I was going now would be to see the last service report, because I don't think I would probably consider buying a caravan that hasn't got at least some service history. You want to know that the people who've had it before you with a used caravan, that it's been pretty well looked after, don't you? And if there's not a report, then to look at an engineer. If you decide you're thinking of buying the caravan, to get an engineer out to have a real good look over it. People, that are doing this all day, every day, checking caravans, their wealth of experience is absolutely valuable, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
One thing we did when we got our Bailey, it was an Alutek construction, so there was really nowhere for it to get damp inside other than the floor. And these engineers, they know where the likelihood is for any problems to arise. So on that particular Bailey, it was the front corners were the main areas to check. But each caravan has its own little idiosyncrasy, doesn't it?
Yes, it
Each
does.
make and model can be slightly different. So if you are looking for a caravan, you're looking at a private sale, then certainly an engineer's report is well worth the money, isn't it? Just to save yourself what could be a load of hassle in the future, and that being that there's no actual service history with the caravan to start off with.
Thing is, you need the service history as well to make sure with electrics and the gas and everything's being checked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just for your own safety.
That's it, and it's peace of mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you hear so many people that have bought a caravan, they've been told it's okay, and then they get it away and they find the fridge will work on electric, but it won't work on the gas. Well, if the gas hasn't had a thorough certified check, then it could be considered to be dangerous, couldn't it?
Yeah.
We need to think of these as you're living in them, and therefore you've got to be really careful about how you look after them. So yeah, and if you're buying a brand new caravan, I won't say don't make the same mistake we made, but consider how far away your dealer is from where you're buying it. Ours is 130 miles, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not as though we can you know, jump in the car and just pop down the road if we've got a problem or we want to buy any accessories or anything like that. You know, and you do build a relationship up with the dealer. You know, you get to know the sales guy and you get to know the people in the parts department of the place where you normally go, and that instills a level of trust, and that's something we've not been able to do with our dealer, is it?
No,
Don't get us wrong, they've been great with us, but we haven't got that experience of a dealership that we would have if it was, say, 10 mile away, because it's a long way down the road, isn't it?
Definitely.
Right, moving on to number 3, the essentials for when you're buying a caravan. So if you're getting it from a dealer, normally you get the caravan with a pigtail. They'll ask you whether you want propane or butane, and they'll give you a pigtail, give you normally an electric hookup lead. You may get a step, you may not. You certainly won't get an aqua roll or waste master,
no.
and 9 times out of 10 you won't even get a battery. So they're things that you need to consider to be an additional cost that you're going to have to buy. Places like eBay, Facebook Marketplace and the like are good places to start, aren't they?
Yeah.
And there's even some dealerships or some caravan places that will actually, when caravans go in as part exchanges, they take the things like the aqua roll and waste master out, and they'll put them in like a second-hand space somewhere in the dealership. So you may have one of those close by. You can go and have a look and pick stuff up fairly cheaply, because if you're going to buy them all brand new,
it's expensive.
it certainly adds up, doesn't it?
Yes.
Gas is another one. Now we've got 2 6-kilo propane gas bottles, and because of the way we caravan, we're predominantly in the UK and we're not going to be away for more than probably 3 weeks at a time. We've opted for a local gas company, so we've opted for Flow Gas. And when we got the bottles, I went to them and got 2 6-kilo bottles full for £60, and the refill of those bottles is £18 each. So that's considerably cheaper than you see with the Cala Gas and Camping Gas and some of the other gas companies. So gas can be obtained relatively easily and cheaply if you do a little bit of searching around. The problem that you have is that Cala won't swap for somebody else's gas, and somebody else won't swap for Cala. So if you've only got one bottle, it may be worth choosing a supplier that will supply countrywide, like Cala Gas, so you can go to most of the main sites, and if you do run out of gas, you'll be able to swap it out fairly easily. Or if you're going to have maybe 2 bottles, you can maybe look around and find gas a whole lot cheaper.
Yeah.
We only spent £50 on gas last year for the whole year of caravanning, didn't we?
Yes.
And to think we're actually using the caravan to record these videos, and we use it as an office space as well, then we think it's a fairly cheap.
Plus we have it on for when the temperature drops to keep the caravan.
Yeah, keep it fairly warm.
Yeah.
Keep it fairly warm. So there's another couple of things to think about. The essentials, how you're going to get those, and how much you're going to put aside as a budget to purchase them. Number 4 was a consideration that we didn't think about when we bought the caravan, and that was where we were actually going to go and how much those sites were going to cost. It's people thought, or people think, we even think, caravanning is a cheap lifestyle. Well, it's not actually that cheap.
It's getting dearer.
If you think with the cost of fuel, miles per gallon of your car and all the rest of it, and then the actual cost of a campsite, yes, you can go off grid for £10-15 a night, and you may even get hookup for £15 a night. If you want to go to a site with all the facilities, with a bar, with a pool, with all the facilities for kids, then we've actually spoke to one friend who where 5 of them went away, and they didn't even go in a caravan, they went with a tent without electricity, and they paid £90 a night. So the costs are certainly rising. Admittedly, that was peak season, it was in the Lake District in a really good location, but we've noticed this year that people who maybe in some of the websites and some of the clubs advertised at one price, when you actually ring up to book,
It's another price.
you find it's completely different. So it's well worth checking out before you start caravanning what the cost of your holidays are going to be. So if it's going to be 50 mile away at 30 miles per the gallon, it's a lot different than if it's going to be 300 miles away at 20 miles to the gallon, and if the site is going to be £30 a night compared to £60-70 a night. So you've got to weigh up the whole lot as to what it's going to cost you as a whole, and that may dictate whether you even choose to buy a caravan at all.
Yeah.
I was actually speaking to a friend just the other day who said by the time they'd driven their car to a location and stayed there for 3 days on a caravan site, with the extra fuel and the extra trouble and the cost of the site, it actually worked out for 2 of them to stay just as cheap in a Premier Inn. So there is a spin-off, isn't there?
Yes, definitely.
Right, and our 5th, and this is probably one that we certainly didn't think about, was that whilst it's not essential for these, it's not essential to be in a club, it's not essential to have insurance, and it's not essential to have breakdown cover, I don't think we would consider caravanning without it. There is lots of advantage with being in one or both of the clubs, the Caravan and Motorhome Club or the Camping and Caravanning Club, and I think the main one is the availability of sites that you can get in all the main areas. Lots of the CL locations that will still have electric hookups, some are even fully serviced, but they're in the main locations, and it just widens the availability for you to be able to travel when you want to travel. So for what they cost per year, it's probably worth joining one, if not both, of the clubs. Caravan insurance is just something else. Prices are from one end of the spectrum to the other. You don't have to legally have insurance. Your caravans tends to be insured when it's on the back of the car, so long as you've told your car insurance company that you're going to be towing a caravan. But it's something I don't think you could really get away with. Lots of caravans seem to be getting stolen. They can be easily damaged. Just recently with the storms, people have had caravans and awnings damaged just because of the weather conditions. So caravan insurance is something else you need to think about. And for us, breakdown cover as well. Maybe if you've got 2 cars, they've both got tow bars on, you're only travelling a short distance, maybe breakdown cover's not so essential. But if you're travelling 300-400 miles
like we do,
or more in a trip, then probably breakdown cover is something essential that you need to look at. And the problem with breakdown cover is that they all have their own terms and conditions, and they're all slightly different. We're quite fortunate that it was never going to be that expensive because we've only got a small caravan. But if you've got a larger caravan, twin axle caravan, then you may end up paying a little bit more for your breakdown cover to ensure that should you break down, your caravan will be dealt with as well as your car. That's our little look at things to consider for starting out caravanning in 2022. Please, if you're experienced as a caravanner, leave a comment below, because any people new to caravanning, come in and have a look. We'll be able to see your experiences and gain some of your valued opinions. And please like the video so it'll spread far and wide with the YouTube algorithm.
Yep.
So that's it for today. Thanks very much for watching. You take care, you stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one. Ta-da!
Bye.